If you didn't know by now, I'm a big Apex Legends fan. Recently, I've taken a 1-season break from the game, but I'm a multi-time diamond player, and I'm not saying that to brag. I'm just saying that because I'm really not that special of a player, and if I can do it, you can do it too. What's it like taking a multi-season break from the game? It didn't go too well.
I got this.
Oh, the path was so low too. Yeah, I was a little bit disappointed. Then I thought, hey, we could use video games as a tool to teach personal development. Within a game, it's easy to track personal progress because they give you a clear indicator of how you're doing good or bad. In fact, games are so good at putting you into flow because they meet all the requirements that Melee Setsunhao has laid out. Rewards, clear goals, loss of consciousness, loss of sense of time, direct and immediate feedback, the balance between player skills and challenge, and the player control in the situation in the activity. Using video games this way is really exciting because not only can I teach you about something I love in Apex Legends, but I can teach you something important for the rest of your life: how to study, learn, and apply new skills. When learning a big skill like Apex Legends, it's important to break that big skill down into separate sub-skills so your brain can more easily handle getting better at them. For Apex Legends, this includes general game knowledge, aim, game sense, map rotations, and inventory management. General game knowledge is pretty simple. This includes knowing what type of game it is, what weapons are good, which legends are good, and what items do. Now, I've actually played Apex before, so I have a pretty good base level knowledge of general game knowledge, but one thing you can do to sharpen up on your game knowledge is just to read the Apex wiki or to read the patch notes. Just by playing the game, you'll pick this up. If you're really curious of what something does, you can always just step in the training range and play around and experiment. Because Apex Legends is an FPS game, you're gonna have to aim and hit things. And aiming can get you out of a lot of bad situations if you have good aim. Lucky for you, there's a lot of great aim trainers out there. There's Kovacs, Aim Labs, and SteelSeries FPS Aim Trainer, just to name a few. Pick whichever one you like, and then do some aiming benchmarks. That way you can see where you're at. One mistake newer players can make is getting caught up on this whole aim thing and thinking it's the only reason they lose. When I came back from my long break, while I wasn't at my tip-top shape, I was pleasantly surprised by how much aim memory was still there. Aim training is still a little debated within the FPS community whether it improves your skill or not, but because a lot of the pros do it and I personally have seen a lot of improvements from using aim trainers, I highly recommend doing an aim trainer. Returning to our earlier point about flow and direct and immediate feedback, one of the reasons why FPS aim trainers are so nice is they give you an objective score where you can measure your aim. They also provide a lot of other helpful, useful stats. If you're curious about my aim lab stats, here they are before they reworked the system, and here they are after. So now that you know how to aim and hit things, it's time to work on your movement. One of the great things about Apex is actually its movement system, and it offers a lot of skill expression. I would watch people like Fade, Monkey Sniper, or Lemonhead if you want an idea of what movement can do for you, but even working on basic things like slide jumping is something that you can start off with. Zipping on to our next topic is game sense, and that's just putting the last three things together and using them in combination, which is a lot trickier than it seems. Using your game knowledge to see what the other characters are doing and how you're going to react to them and stop them, using your movement to put yourself in a position to win, and then using your aim to finally shoot and kill the target. Now, game sense is something that you'll pick up just naturally playing the game. It's something that takes a while to develop, so don't rush it. You can pick up a little game sense by watching some other YouTubers and some streamers play the game. A good way to pick this up rather swiftly is to play the mixtape playlist, so that's playing games like Team Deathmatch or Control just to get a feel for using all those three things in combination. Knowing when to heal or when to cancel your heal so that you can push the last opponent with your teammate can be the difference between winning or losing a fight. Next up on our list is inventory management. Because Apex Legends is a battle royale, you're not only going to have to get used to using a bunch of different items, but also picking them up and managing them in your bag. This is an example of a typical endgame setup I run for Wattson. Keep in mind that other legends prefer other weapons or items. A tip here is while you're running around the map, you can hit tab and look at which attachments, ammo, or items you need. That way you have it in the back of your mind while you're looting. Here I'm showcasing a simple drill that you can do in the firing range to practice armor swapping and looting things like ammo and items. Sprint between these two loot boxes, drop your armor and a couple of items. As you approach the next loot box, grab an armor and the items that you dropped. While this might sound like a simple task, this becomes a lot harder to perform under pressure.
Oh my god. That's upper top right there.
So this next part is actually really advanced even for me, and it involves map knowledge and map rotations. I think you only have to start worrying about this at a higher level of ranked, but this involves knowing where the ring will close based on its initial location, which choke points and locations to avoid, and what legends and other tools like zip lines you can use to get around the map. While before we were talking about movement in a micro scale, now we're opening it up and talking about it on a larger macro scale. And this is where legends like Pathfinder, Horizon, Wraith, and Valk become invaluable because they open up a lot of new possibilities for your team. Speaking of teams, that's my last step. Join some public Discord servers if you don't have any friends to play with, and play with some better players. No, not so they can carry you. When you die, you can watch the game from their perspective and you'll learn a lot. Also, while playing with them, they'll inevitably tell you some things that you need to work on, and then you can apply that to your game. Feedback and review is an important part of improving any skill. The last part is to just jump into a game and see if you can apply what you've learned. This game starts right off the drop, and I have to start with an RE45 and a Devotion. I'd like to find better weapons, but I see that Thrax here is under fire, so I go to support him. I'm a little surprised by the pace of the game, and I end up shooting my teammate in the back. Good thing this is an R6. Oof, I missed an easy zip jump. When my teammate goes down, we know it's a 2v2 because we already knocked one of their squad. After some aim training on Mirage Decoy, I'm ready for the real thing. I'm thinking about thermiting the door to stop the push, but I decide against it because my teammate's there anyway. Oh god, please pull up. After stabbing my friend, I get rid of that Devotion in favor of the Vault. And get absolutely lit up in the open field. Sometimes you can be quick to rush into things when you don't know the whole situation, so my tip here is to just wait a little. No, it wasn't even close. After waiting 10 years to use my Phoenix kit, I used the bat signal to extract like Batman. And because you can carry multiple of these things, we call Batman again. This time I land on an Octane and have my first 1v1 in a while. After using my Weeaboo Jutsu, I have the confidence to push him despite missing a whole Volt Meg. While it felt good to get a kill, it was a mistake to chase the Octane because my team's fighting another team without me. Since I've played, they've changed the distance of the Wraith ulti, but I'm confident I can reach him from my location, and I want to res him as soon as possible. With him resing right there in the raw, I have to hold the angle. You can tell I haven't been playing in a while because I'm surprised at the effectiveness of the Null Star. This was actually a mistake on the other team's part, and they should have hard committed pushing us. They let us reset, and that's what allows us to win the fight later. This next part is a little bit of a mistake on my part. I should have held a wider angle here because we know the guy's peeking from that top railing to the left. I'm providing no value to my team from here.
Nailed that. Charging on my shields.
This is the last squad, and because I know they have a good position on us, I want to close that distance with Wraith. I'm able to put a portal for my team in a pretty good spot. While I might have been able to hold the first floor there and heal there, I'm not sure where the full squad is, so I feel safer taking the TP back. I make a pretty big mistake here, and you can tell the experience of Thrax. Thrax is actually a Masters player, and he's expecting me to take the portal back and support him, and I should have done that. By the time I get there, I waste a lot of time running and it's too late. I could have held the angle for him if I was there. Upon getting the crack, I'm in a rush to even out the fight to be a 2v2, so I don't even see the Revenant, and that's my end. After a long game of running around and facing no squads despite hot dropping, we run into our first fight. While having decent weapons, our squad has pretty bad shields, and after some more Naruto jutsus, we're ready to push. Because we know this other squad has just gotten into a fight, we want to push it quickly before they have a chance to reset. I get the knock, but I'm pretty hurt, but instead of healing, I know that Thrax is drawing pressure, so I want to push. I get completely beamed by this Revenant, and I do a better job of running to the right. Yes, that is a Masters player we're playing against. I still haven't gotten my first win since coming back. Because we're losing straight up 3v3s, I decided to bring a fourth person into this. We land tilted towers because it's the first POI, and the RNG gods have blessed me with an R301. Not even close. My teammate gets fisted by a crackhead and I'm helpless to stop it. After the crackhead's done fisting my teammate, I fist my teammate. My character's feeling kinda bad, so I use drugs to make them feel better.
I'm healing.
Upon watching this clip, I realized I could have taken my time and hit her. Sometimes when you're not being pressured, it's worth it to be patient and try to hit the shot. We push a team that's just res, and I know they can't have that much, so I push in aggressively. Here I push and I make a mistake of wide swinging. I get lucky because Pathfinder's there, but because I know Pathfinder's there, I could probably play that corner more tightly.
My gut says to avoid that area. Never mind.
Although I trade sniper bullets here with this catalyst, I think one thing people forget about the Vantage Sniper is that people take increased damage after they get hit by it.
Take him down. I cracked it.
It's tragic because I watched this back and actually get a no-rig on that. Either way, with the knock, we try to push our advantage, so everyone pushes in.
Come on, come on. I'm taking fire, friends. It's go time.
They are able to get Catalyst up. We know that she's really low.
Shatter the prison.
More friends are coming to kill us. There's another squad.
Immediately, we're third party, and I'm pretty healthy, so I'm peeking for my team.
Tag some prey. Reloading.
I am repairing.
Once again, once we get the knock, we have the green light to push, so I take my Q over. Now this is a lot more dangerous than it looks because Catalyst is a pretty big target in the air, and the Apex community has gotten pretty good at tracking moving targets.
Replicator incoming.
Fire, friends. Rockstar.
Because we weren't able to finish the fight fast enough, I hear the sound of another squad zipping in.
Charging shield. Reloading. Hostile right here.
Here I'm just holding the stairs and I don't want to commit too hard because I know there's another team in the area. Also Thrax is healing, so I'm covering for him to heal.
Recharging my shields. Shatter the prey's shield. Reloading.
Right now we're leveraging the two teams against each other and the squad in the middle is getting pinched on both sides. When Thrax goes in for the kill, I go in to support him.
Crack the back of the shield. Now keep the enemy. Broke that enemy shield. Charging shields. Charging on my shields.
The last guy was a solo with a charge rifle, so it was a pretty easy win from this point out.
Crack an enemy shield. Faster, faster, faster.
Finally, I had my first win in Apex after a long time of not playing. But I already know what YouTube's gonna say. you didn't do it in solo queue, so I went out in solo queue 1 too. After praying to the RNG gods, I was blessed with not only a sweaty wraith, but a friendly one. I didn't think this game was gonna go well because this happened. I finally pick up a gun, but it only has 18 bullets, so I got 18 bullets in a dream. By the time I gather enough loot, it takes me 2 zip lines to get back to my team. This is a pretty strong spot, but I don't have enough ammo to really use this spot. One issue I fall into is because I play so many aim trainers is sometimes I hold my mouse click even though I'm not hitting anything. I need to get rid of that habit. As we're rotating out of the tunnel, we hear some gunfighting, so we make our way to third party. We're lucky because by the time we get there, most of the other squads are in shambles. I should have been aware of that death box. I got stuck on it and got lit up pretty hard. I haven't really done much this game. I've supported a little bit, and sometimes it'll just be like that. It's just part of the game. I actually saw the bang flare, so I tried to counter with my Watson ult, but the activation time made it so it didn't block any of the projectiles. Obviously, when your team is low, you should make your way to support who is ever low. Once again, we get pretty lucky with another third-party attempt here. One thing I need to work on is my recoil control, which was much better before. We're actually pretty lucky here that they prioritize their own lives sliding down the hill instead of their Stinger Wraith. Not quite where I wanted, but good enough. The Watson Wraith ship continues in my brain. They call for Batman's help and attempt to escape, but this is where aim trainers really pay off. You can see I'm able to smoothly track them going up, not only once but twice in a row. And I picked up a car because I thought the last couple of fights were going to be a little more close quarters, but it didn't really pay off. As you can see, I'm at assault rifle range trying to use an SMG and it's not working too well. One issue I have is not purposely using my grenades. I'm just kind of tossing in there hoping for something. I don't know if someone's there. I just kind of toss them. Keep in mind that even when things go well, you could be making mistakes. Here I really overpeak, but I'm not punished for it. I make the choice to switch to the flatline because I feel like I'm more effective with it anyway. I also change out my Mastiff for a PK. Because I had started watching Lamek, I wanted to try something new and put one node outside. I realized that this is actually a pretty poor decision because there's the death box in the way of the door, so I can't close it and abuse that. Although you can tell I'm not that mechanically skilled at the game, I can use advantageous spots to gain the upper hand on my enemies. You can say I'm just laying down fire from the high ground here. My choice to switch to the flatline here has paid off. As you can see, I'm just cracking shields from the distance. I'm unfamiliar with the way ballistics tactical works, so I end up overheating my gun. Once the enemy team is a little softened up and I see my other teammates start to push in, I start to push in too so they're not left high and dry. And that's one of my first solo wins and coming back to my return. If you've made it this far into the video, I want to thank you so much, and I hope you've learned something either about learning new skills or Apex Legends, one of my favorite things. And if you like gaming content, I'm going to upload gaming stuff to my other channel, Laidback Gaming. I'll no longer be uploading gaming content to this channel unless it has to do with using gaming as a tool for self-improvement. Kind of like the way Healthy Gamer GG does, I look up to him. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.
Recharging my shields. Got our squad mates banner. Picked up our team.
Oh fuck!
You're being aimed at. Float jumping. Getting shot at.
Yeah, you totally outplayed
I
them, bro.
fucking did it. Rokins, you were doubting my play. Definitely on purpose. That was all planned.
Is that why you say, oh my god?
Yeah, it's a-